Thank you guys for coming today. I appreciate it. I know Saturday is a busy day. Let me just put this clock on the back because this could be 45 minutes and I could talk for 3 hours. So thank you guys for coming. I really, really do appreciate it. Today's talk is on power of habits. It's something that I discovered while I was at a mastermind meeting for OPEX last 2 weeks ago. What's going on, Ryan? Thanks for coming, man. Take a seat. So it was something that I had been introduced to from a mentor of mine, and I didn't realize how important it was in terms of actually allowing things that I do normally to come into fruition. And I think there's so much for all of us to learn. So how many of us here have habits that we don't realize that are habits? Or just have habits in general? I mean, if you show me one person, I can show you 10,000 habits. So all your hands will raise, right? Yes, right? How many of those habits that we have, good, bad, negative, neutral, right? We all have those things. And what it really boils down to, which we'll get into, is we are just victims of habits. We are habit creatures, right? If you want something to change in your life, yeah, it's like about changing habits, etc. We talk about here, exercise, things like that. But it's so, so important. And I can't say this enough. There are things that I'm going to talk about today. If you have references or need references, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Power of Habits from Charles Duhigg. You could even read some Napoleon Hill stuff, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. It's not written by Napoleon Hill, there's another book. And we're going to get into all of that. If you have any questions, I want you guys to talk and ask me questions too, because I'm in the process of doing this as well. Yeah, you guys excited? Make it. I want it to be interactive, so I don't want this, because then I know that you're tired or sleepy, or maybe you're hungry.
Better just my posture.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, if this thing works, these are not people who come to the gym. This is just general pictures. Okay, so goals and objectives of the talk today. What does habit mean? What are our daily habits? Understanding cue, crave, response, reward pathways. How do we normally try to change habits? Identity, process, and outcome-based solutions. Core values, and how to build better habits. Okay? So we'll get started. Any questions? Please interrupt, and we'll talk about it. So what does habit mean? I'm trained in philosophy in my undergrad in religious studies. And we always start with definitions of things, because how we define anything is going to actually impact the way in which we're going to have a relationship with that word. And habit actually has a very interesting background. So it's a Middle English word from Old French, habit or habit. I don't speak French, I speak other languages. From Latin habitus, condition, appearance, from habere, you can read it all. But the term originally meant dress attire, which I thought was so interesting, because we talk about habit as if it's something that we repeat. Yeah, we repeat, right? But older, in our Middle Ages, it was something that we used to demarcate the way in which we appear. So don't you find that there's an interesting thing there? I mean, I found it very interesting. That we talk about habits now in what we do, meanwhile years ago we talked about how we appeared. Maybe there was some correlation to the way in which you acted and the way in which you dressed, So I'm thinking of it, just postulating in my head, well, perhaps those who were poor had different habits, right? Or different habit or different appearance. Those who were wealthy, etc., had also different appearance as well. And there was a sort of habit formation that we attributed to that person. Does that make sense? Yeah? No?
This is your lifestyle and how you live.
Exactly. Yes. And then I was thinking about, well, we use the word habit all the time, right? Well, you cohabitate, your habitat, rehab, right? Because when we're trying to rehabilitate somebody, right? Like you have a knee injury. Well, what are we trying to do? We're actually trying to make the habits that you normally do come back, right? So it's really important to think about these things when you're considering changing habits, building habits, etc., because language is super important. So I thought that was very, very interesting. So now I'm gonna get right into it. What are our daily habits? So here's an example of daily habits, right? You wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Or if anybody says anything, so you can brush your teeth. Okay, brush your teeth, okay?
Coffee.
Coffee, okay. Even before then, maybe.
Check my Instagram.
Check Instagram, right?
Take a shower.
What is it?
Take a shower.
Take a shower, okay.
I open my eyes.
Yeah, no, you gotta open your eyes first, right?
Drink a lot of water.
Drink water, whatever it is, right? All of these things are actual habits. You just don't consider them habits, okay? We sometimes think of habits as things that are bad, and I want to correct that, that terminology, because habits aren't good or bad. They're just who you are. There are either effective habits or there are ineffective habits, right? So up here I have your phone buzzes with a new text. You want to learn the contents of that message. You grab your phone and read the text. You satisfy your craving to read the text. Grabbing your phone becomes associated with your phone buzzing. You see that correlation? Broken down like that, it's very, very interesting to notice, right? So you said coffee, right? Okay, so there's a thing that goes on, which I'll get into, that is then in turn made you wanting to go get coffee. You get the coffee, you drink it. Now getting up in the morning is associated with what? Right? Waking up in the morning is associated with shower.
Brush my teeth.
Drinking water.
What'd you say? Go in the bathroom. Yeah. No, that's another habit. I mean, when I have consultations with people, but I poop at 8 a.m. Okay? Cool. What's happening at 7:55? I have a big cup of coffee.
Right.
So look what's going on, right? Another thing on here, you are answering emails, you begin to feel stressed and overwhelmed by your work, you want to feel in control, you bite your nails. You satisfy your craving to reduce stress, biting your nails becomes associated with answering emails, right? I'm gonna go through all of them. You wake up, you want to feel alert. You drink a cup of coffee, you satisfy your craving to feel alert. Drinking coffee becomes associated with waking up. You smell a donut shop as you walk down the street near your office, you begin to crave a donut. You buy a donut and eat it, you satisfy your craving to eat a donut. Buying a donut becomes associated with walking down the street near your work. You see that? It's very interesting, right? Because now all of the things that you may or may not do are also just habits that haven't been formed or habits that have already been formed, right? And then another way, you hit a stumbling block in a project, you feel stuck, you want to relieve your frustration, you pull out your phone and check social media, you satisfy your craving to check social media, and being frustrated at work is associated with you actually checking your phone, right? There's nothing good or bad about any of them, so I don't want you guys to think, oh, this is so bad, you know, I have terrible habits, I do all that shit, it's so bad. No, it's just who you are. It's just a habit that you have. Might be a positive or might be a negative, but it all depends on actually who the person is that you identify as, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so now we're going to get into the cue, crave, response, and reward pathway. Before we do that though, Z had handed out some habits. I'm sorry. She gave you some habits. She gave you
They're all good ones.
Yeah, they're all good ones, don't worry.
Are they
She
good?
gave you a list, okay, of a habit, positive, negative, or neutral, okay? So what I want you to do is just write down some of those habits. So Fran had wrote down coffee. Yeah. Write down 5 or 6 habits that you have. Take 2 to 3 minutes. Okay? You don't have to write the biggest amount of habits. You can write simple things like go to work, exercise, fall asleep at 1 p.m., tell my husband I love him, anything. Write down if it's positive, negative, or neutral next to it, okay? Take 5 minutes, take your time, there's no rush, okay?
From the whole day or just?
Yeah, from the whole day, yeah, absolutely. Again, it could be something, write down something negative too. It could be a habit that you don't enjoy. For instance, a habit such as biting your nails, giving into the sweet craving, not going to bed on time, etc., etc., etc. Right? Not eating the food that you want. And that could be a daily thing, or it could be a weekly thing, or it could be a monthly thing, it could be a minute thing, etc. And as you're doing this, the whole process of this is understanding and becoming more aware, right? We're always talking about that in here as a gym, and I'm talking about it with clients, is we want to draw awareness first and foremost, okay, around your habits, okay? Because the awareness is actually going to drive perhaps an adaptation to that habit, okay? In fact, if you want to know, you can look it up yourself. In fact, in Japanese railway systems and the MTA, they do a process called point and call, right? They actually will, right? Have you ever been to, anybody take the train? You take the train now. Yeah, so there'll be a guy standing here and he'll look at the front and he'll point to the conductor, or they'll point to each other. They'll say the time, they'll say when the train is going, and it actually reduces injuries and actually, or deaths associated with going onto the train, and it actually improves efficiency because now they're all on the same exact time and they're pointing and calling it out. They do it in Japan. It's called a process called point and call. They'll actually point out and they'll say, 7 p.m., all aboard, tracks ready, etc. And they point and call. And it actually improves efficiency. So all this is doing is pointing and calling out the awareness of your habits, okay? Makes sense? You guys have all the positive, negatives. You can come back to it as you're going through this. But so, the habit loop, okay? So if we go back, okay? Oh, I'll go here first. Cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. Cue, craving, response, reward. Let's say it together. Cue, craving, response, reward. That is habits. That is habit. That is a habit, okay? So, before here, okay, what's the cue? Your phone buzzes with a new text. What's the craving? You want to learn the contents of the message. What's the response? You grab your phone and read it. What's the reward? Oh man, I'm so happy I read that text. You wake up. The cue. You waking up is a cue. She takes a poop in the morning or pees. She drinks water. She drinks coffee. He checks his phone. He takes a shower. Z opens her eyes. You wake up. You want to feel alert. You drink a cup of coffee. Cue, craving, response, reward. Okay? So let's start with the first one, okay? Cues. There are many different types of cues, but we've narrowed it down to 4, okay? Time, location, preceding event, emotional state, other people. Time. You wake up. You wake up. You wake up, right? It's 8 a.m. I know I go for a walk at 8 a.m. Right? It's 8 a.m. I go for a workout during that time. It's 7 a.m. I am on the phone call. Greg's on a business phone call every day at 7 a.m. Okay? Raphael, what time do you have to be at work?
8.
Okay, so why? Why are you at work at 8? Because you have to, right? There's a habit that's formed there. He can choose not to go to work, but they won't get paid, right? But there's a time associated with it. In fact, there might be times of day where you do certain activities that then lead to other activities, right? Well, after I get off the phone at 7 a.m., I'm going to do this because that's what I do at 7:30. So time is very important in understanding what your cue is. And again, cue is that thing, your phone buzzing at 8 a.m., right? Oh, well, it always buzzes at 8 a.m. because my feed and my social media is blocked until then. Now I'm on my phone at 8 a.m. You see how we just built that cue to then get a craving and a response and reward? Yes? No? Tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we're all good.
Okay, so good. Next one is location. This is probably the biggest one besides time. Okay? location, location, location. What's the most important thing in making a business, Greg?
Real estate.
Location. Yeah, real estate, right? I only said it because I know you're into it. But location is probably the driving factor for your queues. Okay, I'll give you an example. Raphael, when you go into the lunchroom or the break room at, I'm only focusing on Raphael because I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So other people work in the same industry. What is the food that's available there?
In my room, I have my sandwich, my salad, maybe what I bring.
Okay, but in the meeting room where there's other, like, they maybe bring in.
Yeah, they bring burgers, they bring donuts.
Okay.
For the meetings.
So think about that. Okay, location is going to dictate your habits. Okay, I'm drawing awareness of where Raphael goes into a room where there's food that may not be on the same person he identifies as, and he's tempted to choose bagels, donuts, cookies, etc. So they've actually done research on this, okay? If there was an office building, I forget who sponsored it, they had beverages in the, what are they called, Greg? The just beverage vending machines with soda, okay? They had vending machines with water as well. Soda sales were very, very high, water sales were very, very low. What they then did was keep the soda there, and then they actually put in baskets of water around the room that were just available, that they could purchase as well. And guess what happened? Soda sales went down, water sales went up. Location, location, location. If you were trying to achieve a goal, whatever it is, your location is going to dictate if you were successful with that goal. So if you were constantly surrounded by food that is not in alignment with the things that you want to achieve, well, guess what? Yeah, you can sabotage yourself and say, oh, I can never get the body I want, or I'm never going to be on time because I live over here. Well, create the location that you really want to have to achieve the things that you want, right? In a similar way, preceding events also impact your habits, right? As a cue. Because like I said before, timing matters, preceding events matter as well. What did you do before that then leads to the next thing? Oh, well, normally if after I clean my room, I play with my dog on the floor and it gets all dirty and then I gotta clean it again. Well, is that a good habit or a bad habit? Preceding event. I normally have a cup of coffee and then what do I have? A donut. So you see how the coffee then becomes associated with the donut. Fran eats that donut. So.
No, I don't eat donut,
but it's like I drive to work and I'm stressed out and I eat this. I don't have good food available to me. I've been in this situation before. I'm just gonna eat like this. I'm focusing on nutrition a lot just because we're all aware of those things. I can't get up on time, so I'm gonna miss the gym today, and then that's gonna make me upset for the rest of the day. So now you're upset, and there's a habit formed right there. The more times you do that, the more likely it's going to happen, and the more likely you're going to feel that same state, and you're gonna think, oh, I can never get this accomplished. Well, absolutely, I agree with you, for sure. Other people, last one. Other people and location are almost intertwined. Other people are going to dictate the way in which you actually operate. You're laughing.
I'm laughing, yes.
Because I'm going to bring you up, right? No. So it's like, if you're surrounded by, I think there's research, I forget the numbers, I think it's like, if you're surrounded by folks who are obese, 57% chance that you will then become obese as well.
And second and third
Yes.
party. I read that
Yep.
article. It was fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. So
Fascinating.
why? Well, we're social creatures. We want to be similar to those around us. If everybody around us is in pain, you'll be the fourth person within pain. What is that quote? You show me, Greg probably told it to his kid. You show me your friends, I'll show you how you're gonna be. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Why? Because if you give a person a hat, they're going to wear it, right? In the same sort of culture that they want. I say too, with clients that I bring on, well, if everybody on Long Island is stressed out about their work, not enough money, you're gonna feel the exact same way. You're gonna feel the exact same way. I never have enough time. Yeah, because everybody around you is saying it, right? Oh, I can never, achieve what I want. because everybody around you is saying it as well, right? And what we're saying is, no, you can achieve those things. You do have to change your, you have to change the location, and maybe you have to change some friends around. But hey, that's not for me to judge or tell you to do. You just have to become aware about it. That's why we wrote down these habits. So that's all about cues, okay? Cravings are the next thing. So if you notice the language, I'm just gonna go back, okay, to here. You want to learn. You want to learn. You begin to feel. You want to feel. You begin to crave. You feel stuck, right? Cravings are internal changes of state, okay? There's a change in internal state, which is why you feel the need to do something, right? So Fran was saying coffee, right? You were saying go to the bathroom, water, etc. Drink alcohol, right? Well, your cue is I'm in Phil's in where is that, Brian?
Wading River.
Wading River. I'm with the same people. The location dictates that people drink. I want to drink. Do you see how it happens just like that? It's so simple. I'm sorry if I'm getting so excited about this, but it really is, right? You know what? I'm at the gym. I'm going to exercise. Yeah, you are. You came to the gym. I'm at home. I have food prepared. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat the food that I prepared. Why? Because I crave it. I'm hungry. I want to feel satisfied. Every time you have a craving, it's to change that internal state, okay? Really think about what that internal state is that you want to actually express and feel. Is it, I want to feel important. I want to, you know, lose the weight. I want to get more time. I want to get a promotion at work. Okay, so what are the things that are cueing you that's preventing you from not getting a promotion at work? Well, I'm not showing up on time. Well, that might be a start, right? This one is not as detailed as cues because cues set the stage. So it's a change of internal state. So again, I wake up in the morning. Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You are linking everything with feelings. So we're talking about emotions.
Yes.
So it would have been easier just to stack the emotion instead of the habit.
So
It's just
good,
like
very good question. So your name again?
Sandra.
Sandra. I like that name. So Sandra asked the question, wouldn't it be better to attack the emotion, right? That would be good, but as I'm gonna go talk about, we have to focus on what location we're in, what time it is, the preceding events, and the cues that are around us before we even talk about the feeling, because if you're not around those situations, you would never have that feeling in the first place. So similar, right? If you have let's do a thought experiment. If you have the feeling of wanting to eat a donut, right? Well, what are the things around you that are actually giving you the feeling of wanting to eat a donut? Am I stressed? Am I around somebody who's also eating something? Am I hungry? Am I, is this the time of day that I normally eat these things? Because the cue and the craving are so interlinked or intertwined that you cannot separate just the feeling alone and say, nope, we're gonna go after that feeling. Because the reason why you're stressed is also because of the cue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that question, though. I appreciate it. Response. So that's the next one. This is the actual habit that you do. Okay? Brian, I know, goes and sees the sun every day and gets nice, fresh UV rays in the morning, or just red light, etc. I don't know the full details of it, but that's his actual habit. Okay? Why does he do it? You could ask him. All right? Gina likes to run. Jason likes to lift weight. Brian, what is it? I was just, I'm sorry. No, I'm blanking on your name. Brand. Yes, Brandon. I apologize, Brandon. I was in a conversation. I'm like, who am I talking to again? Heather? There's so many people around. Anne Marie goes to Coco Motion. Marcelo goes to the gym. All these are the habit that you actually do. Okay, Matt plays with his dog and walks it out. Mike goes to church, right? Raphael goes to work, so does etc. All of these are the actual habit you do. Okay, Good, bad, ineffective, non-effective, neutral, negative, totally up in the air. So this one again is the actual habit. The reward is the interesting part, because that is where you feel the benefit. I go to work and I get money. I go to church and I feel good. I, sell houses and I'm very successful at that. Right, Brandon? Jason goes to the gym, he feels good. Marcelo sells somebody on software, great. Anne-Marie, similar scenario, I sell somebody refrigeration, etc. Great. That's the actual benefit that you're building, okay? And the memory and your nervous system is actually tracking that, okay? So when we're trying to build habits, the actual reward is so important. Why? Because when we're talking about, I have it listed. Yeah, so the cue is about noticing the reward, okay? The craving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward, and the reward is they satisfy us and they teach us, just like I wrote, benefit and memory, okay? And your brain is very good at putting in these, adaptations in the brain towards performing an actual action that leads to a habit that gets formed, and then you do it over and over again, over and over.
What if you don't look at it as a reward? What if you're just in a bad habit? Well, you're in an ineffective habit?
So
And it's not a reward, you're just in a cycle of a not good habit.
there is a reward there.
Yeah,
There
right.
has to be a reward there. It's almost, and I'm not.
What if the reward is more in the moment?
Oh
and then
yeah, that's
afterward-
the best kind.
Right, right,
I,
right.
I swear, I'm not even kidding. That
No,
the
but what if-
rewards, it's like a habit or reward could just be like this. Like the cue craving reward response reward
Be
could be
like 3 seconds.
yes. Those are your brain loves those. In fact, heroin, cocaine addicts, they don't feel you can look it up. They don't feel the response or reward. They feel it right before they inject it. Right before. Think about that. And in fact, they've done fMRI studies on humans, and it says, maybe I'll just say people. Humans sound weird. On people, and they will show them positive or negative. That was what it was. It was lung cancer and things like that. They'll show black lungs, etc. It actually doesn't make the person. It makes the person more likely to do the habit. It makes the person more likely to engage in the satisfying behavior of smoking a cigarette. Think about that. Why? Because they're actually not attached to the image. What are they attached to? The cue, craving, response, reward. They're actually attached to, oh, that makes me feel what? Stressed. Oh, you know what would really relieve me right now? Think about that. It's crazy. Right?
That's anything, that's like food, that's any
For
type of.
1,000%.
Right, that's what
And
I'm
that's
saying.
why I don't usually like to categorize habits as good, negative, or bad, because then we can get into the habit of attaching good to outcomes that we desire, but the way in which we get there might not be good, right? And bad, then we avoid doing the bad things because it's hard. I'll just use an example, right? Oh, you know what? I really don't want to eat healthy. I'll just use that as an example. So I'm just going to eat bad, eat bad. Oh, that makes me feel bad, but it makes me feel good because I ate something that I enjoy. See that? Like, there's a habit that just got formed right there. Okay. How do we change habits conventionally? So this is the best part. How do we normally try to change habits? I'll let it out there in the open. So is it? You guys?
Cold turkey, yeah.
Cold turkey. Okay.
Create new habits.
Create new habits. Okay. Cold turkey.
Find something that reward you more.
Okay, so find someone reward more. Okay, so I'm gonna break these down a little bit. Cold turkey is probably the exact one we do all the time. Okay? Creating new habits is an even further step. Creating new rewards is actually another step. So this one is called. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here quick. So there's identity-based solutions, there's process-based solutions, and then there are outcome-based solutions, okay? Cold turkey, which one do you think it is on there? Yes, yes.
Goes right to the
It
end.
is exactly at outcome, okay? So when we do outcome-based solutions, right, we are seeking, I thought that was me, I'm like, someone's really calling? People have been calling me all the time, they don't pick up though. I guess I gotta get that robo thing. So when we do outcome-based solutions, right, we are seeking a different result, okay? Seeking a different reward is actually a good topic. Create new habits is obviously on there, on that same point. When we seek different results, okay, again, you could read this, I'll just, so if you can't see. Nearly every conversation about goals and resolutions is focused on some type of result. What do you want to achieve? How much weight do you want to lose? How much money do you want? How many books do you want to read? How much less do you want to drink? Naturally, we are outcome focused because we want our new behavior to deliver new results. Absolutely not. You didn't change anything when you do outcome-based solutions, right? That's why, for clients of mine, they know I'm starting you off at the one thing that you can just accomplish without even thinking about it, right? Which I'll get to at the end. New goals don't deliver new results, right? So if my new goal is, you know what, I want to read more. You know what, I'm just going to start reading. I'm just going to start trying to read a book a day now. And it's like, that cannot be maintained. It can't, because I didn't even create the circumstances for me to even be successful. I just saw, hey, I read about, you know, this new thing, like, entrepreneurs should read books. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to read books, but I'm not even attached to it. I just want to read books because I want to be identified as that person, but I'm not that person. I didn't change anything, right? I want to run 10 miles. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna run 6 today, and I'm gonna run 4 tomorrow, and it's like, oh, now my knees are hurting. I'm like, oh, I don't want to really run anymore, right? We're trying to change the outcome so quick without even changing a simple thing, okay? So what do we need to do? We need to create new rituals, because rituals are what turn behavior into habits. In the words of Tony Schwartz, a ritual is a highly precise behavior. You do it at a specific time so that it becomes automatic over time and no longer requires much conscious energy to perform. Make sense? Okay? And I'll send this stuff all to you so you guys can take this with you. So, how do we normally change habits? Outcome. Okay? Outcome is the outermost layer. Process is the second. And then we have identity. Okay? Outcome-based solutions, just another reiteration. The first layer is changing your outcomes. That does play a part, but that is normally how we look at habits. We normally look at habits. What am I doing now? How can I improve this? I'm going to change this. Wrong. It's not going to last, simply. You saying that I'm going to eat healthier, oh yeah, I'm just going to start losing weight. No, absolutely not. You didn't change anything about habits, right? You saying that I'm going to work out 3 days a week, or 5 days a week, or I'm going to go every day, okay, and I'm going to lose weight, well, it's not attaching you to anything. How are you going to get there, first and foremost, sustainably, right? This level is concerned with changing results, losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. Most of the goals you set here are associated with this level of change. Next is process. This level is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine at the gym, decluttering your desk for a better workflow, developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits you build are associated with this level. You see the difference here, right? Implementing a new routine at the gym. Okay? There is an actual process that goes on, right? Becoming stress-free. See how there's nothing in there? I'm going to do 20 minutes a day of meditation now. See the difference? Implementing, developing, creating, okay? Beginning, starting. Think about my language, right? Adjectives. Trying to think of more. Those are the best I had. Yeah, it's concerned with action, right? Whereas the other one, you are an innocent bystander and you're trying to be this person when you're all the way back here, right? Process, okay? Take time to actually develop what it is that you want, right? If Greg says, yep, I want to get my knee so that I can walk better. Well, he didn't come in here and say, yeah, so now I'm going to start kicking the weight, and it's like, no, we started on the floor and now we're working up. Right? It's people who come here to the gym, they know that. If you have a different process at work, or the way in which you clean a mouth or develop dentures, whatever, there's a process associated with that. You didn't just wake up one day and say, yep, I'm going to be a dentist. You took years of schooling, etc. And my favorite one, my favorite, okay, is the identity-based solutions, okay? That's where the real change happens, okay? The third and deepest layer is changing your identity. This level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your attitudes, your worldview, your self-image, your judgments about yourself and others. Most of the beliefs, assumptions, and biases you hold are associated with this level, okay? And this is what I love talking to clients about, and everybody knows that, okay, one of my clients, right? Who do you believe yourself to be? You don't have to, okay, you don't know why I answer. I believe myself, people know that. I believe myself to be somebody who is a learner. I believe myself to be somebody who is concerned with others. I believe I believe I'm somebody who is health conscious. I believe I'm somebody who is a good husband. I believe I'm somebody who's a good family member in that role, right? I believe I'm somebody who is ambitious, etc., right? Who is it that you desire to be, or who is it that you already believe yourself to be? Because if you already believe yourself to be, yep, I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life. No, I'm serious.
You are.
You are. You absolutely are. If you are going to be somebody who is, yep, I'm broke. Okay, well then that is associated with the identity that you are putting off to yourself and actually telling yourself here that nothing actually will actually impact and will change that. It's also associated with this growth or fixed mindset. I'm sure you guys have heard about that. Fixed mindset is someone, no, I can't change. Growth is somebody, no, I can change, right? So who is it that you identify with? More so, who is it that you want to identify with? Because if you want to identify as somebody who is health conscious, I'm just describing myself, who is a learner, what are the qualities that person does? I'll say that question again. If you want to be identified as somebody who is a learner or health conscious, what are the qualities and actions that person does daily? You see how that is such a deeper level of developing a habit, right? If somebody is health conscious, what do? Maybe they chew their food. I think about it. What does someone who's health conscious do? Maybe they park their car far away from Stop and Shop, right? Now think about that step in creating a new habit that has a different reward compared to this. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to buy all the healthy food. That's a step. But think about what it is that this person actually does who identifies as such and such. What does the person who takes care of themselves identify as? Oh, they listen to their body. What is the person who identifies as a coffee drinker? And I'm not saying it's positive or negative, I'm just throwing it out there. Well, they feel tired, and or you know what? They're very alert. Their coffee creates a linearity to my work. What does somebody who is a dentist identify as? Well, you know what? Dentists all have timely schedules. They all have this. What is somebody who's an entrepreneur? You see how I'm sussing all of these out? There's an actual habit that goes in accordance with that identity. Good?
Yeah.
Then we get into the idea of core values, which I talk about a lot with clients as well, which is who are you identifying as, right? In that same realm for identity-based solutions that allows you to become that person. Well, do I want to be somebody who's authentic? What does somebody who is authentic do? They speak the truth. That might be a habit for you. Maybe you don't speak the truth. That's great. Maybe it's, what is someone who achieves a lot or has achieved a position in a job? Maybe they show up 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early, 1 minute early, right? What is the person who is an authority figure on something? Guess what they might be doing? Learning a lot about a particular subject. You see how that, I'm guessing on all these. What does someone who has faith do? Maybe they go to church, or maybe they are in touch with their community. Maybe they are a community leader in terms of providing an outreach service. Where can I start on that? Maybe I can just start talking with people. There's a new habit that you just formed. Where is the person who wants to be healthy, who wants happiness? What do happy people do? Maybe they go for a walk after work. Awesome. Now you've just identified a person or thing or feeling that you want to identify with that will actually allow you to then say, hey, you know what, hon? Let's go for a walk after work. It's really good for me. Does that make sense? Yeah, same thing for pleasure, peace, optimism. What are all of these values and how do I have a relationship with them? You're gonna get this, don't worry. So, when we're talking about now coming full circle, how are we building better habits, okay? There's a bunch of things that I actually listed out, but I'm gonna send this all to you because I can, give me 1 second. I can talk about this and develop this for a long time, and it's very, very simple, and I gave you guys 3 steps at the end, but I'm just gonna go over it simple, right? So, for me and for you, the best way to go about it is actually to develop that identity-based solution. Decide the person that you want to be, okay? Decide it, okay? Decide who it is. Who is the person Raphael, Sandra, Martha, Maria wants to be? Well, I know they're all here, they definitely want to be healthier, right? Who is the person Justine wants to be? Who is the person Jason wants to be? Who is the person Brandon wants to be? Who is it? Identify it. Because then you're going to prove it to yourself with small wins, okay? You want to lose weight? I wrote things on here, some. Buy a pedometer. Walk 50 steps when you get home from work. How simple is that, right? When we have our outcomes about what you get, we have processes about what you do, we then have the identity which you became, okay? Outcomes are what you get, processes about what you do, identity is about what you believe. You see how I just gave it actual present level being? Outcomes are about what you do, processes about, outcomes are about what you're getting, what you do, and then who you become, okay? The first step is to kiss. I don't know why they're all like sexual, but you'll see when I put it on there. I swear, I'm not kidding. I noticed that after I put it all together. KISS, anybody know what KISS stands for?
You can feel stupid.
Exactly, yeah. So my coach would say this to me all the time when I played soccer and then when I played in college. And they must have known each other. You really have to start with something simple. Very, very simple. So those habit sheets that I gave you, right? If you look on the back, there's also quotes on there. There's other things that Z will start handing out. That's gonna be like a habit tracker for you, okay? List out your habit. I want it to be something so simple. And I mean it. I mean, if you want to be a person who is a learner, I want you to read a sentence from a book. And cross it off each day. Cross it off. I'll get into it, I don't want to get too far in advance, but cross it off. Write down things on there. I'll go over this specifically. But you have to start with a new version of that habit that is incredibly easy for you. It must be so easy that you cannot even say no in doing it. Okay? Increase your habit each day, but in an incredibly small way. If it means eating healthier, start with waking up and drinking water. It's so simple. Just start with water. Right? I don't think there's anybody in here who doesn't have access to clean water, thankfully. You can start right there. That's all it has to be. And we think it has to be a complete life change. Absolutely not. Rome was not built in a day, but it was built brick by brick. Does that make sense? Even after increasing your habit, all repetitions must remain easy. The total habit should then be broken down into easier pieces. So, similar way. You want to work out in the gym? I always ask people, what's your training history? Right? I know I've asked everybody here. 4 members, except Sound. But yeah, what's your training history? Oh, well, I worked out for 6 months. Guess what? And how many days a week? Like twice a week. Do you think I would have this person come here 6 days a week? Absolutely not. We said yes. Somebody said yes. Absolutely. Sorry?
Go hard or go home.
Yeah, exactly. So absolutely not. This person should probably be doing the same thing that they were doing. Why? Because they haven't developed a habit yet. And furthermore, when things do go wrong or happen in their life, they might be like, oh, I'm so stressed, Q. Why are you stressed? Work, craving, I'm not gonna work out, I'm just gonna go home and eat. Response, go home and eat. Reward, oh, I feel so much better. See how that just happened in a blink of an eye? It's crazy, I swear. I don't know why I'm so excited about this stuff. Kiss, and then there's language. Okay? This one I love so much too. Kiss, love, language. Next one. Oh, I forgot the next one. All right. I can't versus I don't. Okay? This is something I hear all the time. Yeah, I can't eat like that. Okay? Then you won't. Okay? Totally fine. I'm not judging you. That's totally fine. Yeah, I can't make it to work on time. Okay? Perfect. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't measure. Oh, cool. You can't. You just said it. That's who you are.
Be where you're gonna be.
Exactly, right? So they've actually done experiments on this stuff, which is the most interesting stuff. They did a study on 30 women who were exercising, and they implemented a new regimen. And the first, I think I have it listed on here. Just give me a second. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 120 students were split into 2 different groups. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm reading from here, but I don't have the research. That's memorized. That's everything else. One group was told that each time they were faced with a temptation, they would tell somebody, "I can't eat ice cream." Okay. Okay. When the second group was faced with a temptation, they were told, "I don't eat ice cream." Who do you think had more success?
I don't.
Yeah. Why? It's victim versus architect. When you say you can't, you are a victim. Absolutely. 10 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10. You are a victim when you say I can't. You are a victim. Why? Because you're creating resistance between what it is that you actually do want. I can't, I'm on a diet. How many times have you heard that? Or do say that? I'm not judging you. I can't drink alcohol. Okay, cool. I can't eat that. I can't go to the gym. I can't. I don't have time. Cool. You just decided right there. You said I can't. I don't have time. Right? So you victimized yourself, and you became the architect of a future self that you will probably never be. See how I did that? I can't. I don't have time. I use both of them. Another one. With working out. Group 1 was told that anytime they felt tempted to lapse in their goals, they should just say no. So this group was a control group because they were given no specific strategy. Group 2 was told at any time they felt tempted to lapse on their goals with going to the gym, they should say, I can't miss my workout today. Group 3 was told, I don't miss my workouts. Who had more success? And actually making their workouts. I don't.
Yeah.
Why? Because you identified as the person who doesn't miss their workouts.
That was part of the positive statement.
Yes, it was affirmative. Exactly, which is my next point. It was life affirming. I don't miss my workouts. That's not somebody I identify as. See the difference? I don't eat ice cream. I don't, I am not late for appointments. Greg, are you late for appointments?
Never.
Why? I'm serious.
I don't.
But, no. Okay, no.
He's never late.
This is a serious question, I'm serious.
That's a habit I've formed.
But why?
probably-
I want to know
Why?
Who do you identify as somebody who doesn't miss their
Yeah,
appointment?
yeah, well,
Okay.
I had to, it's
Why?
business,
Don't like-
because of the way my business, I created my business.
Yeah.
I had to be that way.
So you
Case
see that?
closed.
Like, it's so simple. He doesn't miss his appointment. He doesn't even identify. He doesn't even know who that person is that misses appointments
No.
or shows up late.
I do sometimes.
Huh?
It's a bad habit.
Bad habit.
But it's a reality. It's like I probably in the past 15 years have never ever missed a workout unless I intentionally did not work out, which there was no right or wrong there either way. But there was no right or wrong even if I did go do the workout. I know who the person is that I identify, right? I said learner, health conscious, etc. I've read, I don't even know how many books. I've read a ton of books in college, even when I was in high school, because I wanted to identify as somebody who was a learner and educated, because I was so interested to learn, right? I graduated valedictorian in my school, and I had tons and tons of scholarships at different universities, And even when I got to universities, I learned so much on my own that I could probably teach the class. I'm not being pompous at all, but I loved learning. I love learning. And anybody who's here, they know that I love that as well. So it's all about identifying and making your language speak who it is that you want to be. Can't, don't, victim versus architect. I don't is experienced as a choice, so it feels empowering. Yeah, I already went over this. Last one is love. Ooh, I told you it was like kind of sexual or something. So keep it simple, stupid. Language, love, okay? When you then identify as that person that you want to be, okay, life gets boring as hell, okay? What's the new habit that we implemented today with sleep?
Sleep at 8:30
Sleep at 8:30. Why?
because we want to get 8 hours of sleep.
Because I identify as somebody who gets 8 hours of sleep. I refuse to be otherwise. I swear. SZ will be out because I get up at 4:30 or 4. And I want to get, maybe it's 7 plus. I forgot what we talked about. We'll be out, and I'm like, what do I say?
You want to go back home. Like, there's no.
I identify as that person that's in bed.
Is your middle name George?
I identify as that person who sleeps because I know, I'm sorry, I probably identified as that person even when I was in high school. I had, this is specifically for me, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but it's who I identify as. When I was in elementary school, middle school, if I had tests the next day and I had to be studied for, I never studied for them. I wouldn't study for them if I had to go up past like 9, 10 o'clock. I would go to bed. You could ask my mom, you could ask my sisters, Z, even, I mean, she's family, pretty much. She's asked my family. Even in college, my roommates in college hated me. I swear to God, because the lights were off at 9:30. Because I played college soccer, and I was up in the morning, and I was going to the gym at 5 a.m. with the team, and then I was working out at
I
6.
could testify for that.
Yeah, and she knows some of my college friends are like, yeah, this guy would be in bed by 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock.
No, I mean,
Never
I
hang
can
out.
testify as an engineer. I like to stay awake, but you.
So yeah, you can see
I
this.
changed that habit.
So I've always identified as that. And the reason why I say love is because you have to love that person that you now become because it's going to get hella bored. Or boring rather, right? If you want to be a great writer, then having a best-selling book is wonderful, but the only way to reach that result is what? You have to fall in love with the process of writing. The only way that Greg shows up on time is he has to fall in love with, wow, I'm someone who identifies as being on time. The only way that I actually go to sleep at the same time each day is because I really love the way I feel. Cue, craving, response, reward. When I go to sleep at 9:30, 10 o'clock, it's like, oh wow, I feel like shit now. I gotta be up at 4 and I'm feeling tired. So all of those tie into how it is that you want to actually feel. If you're constantly struggling with your nutrition, okay, fall in love with the process of drinking water in the morning. That's it. It's gonna be so simple that you can do it. Okay. That's it. Good. Anybody have any questions? I would love to answer questions. So what I also wanted to do was I wanted to just go quickly into, let's see if I have it. Oh, I have it on this sheet. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So what I'm gonna send to you guys too, okay, is there's another sheet that I didn't get a chance to attach to here, okay? That is about your cues, your craving, response, reward, okay? The way in which you can actually hone these skills, there's a whole host of things that I'll go into, right? With your cues, I'm just gonna briefly go over these, okay? If you guys have to run, I understand it's Saturday. For your cues, we first must be what regarding our cues? We must be aware, point and call, right? What is Z, I'll give you an example. Z, when she leaves the house, she's like, I got my keys, I got my phone, see what she just did there? You guys don't even realize. She's pointing and calling exactly the things that she needs because she identifies as somebody who's, well, OCD, no, who wants to make sure she has all of her stuff.
Thank you.
Right? Right?
I do that every night before I go to bed.
Perfect.
It's there, it's a habit. And
Something that Z has helped me with
Yeah.
is optimize my schedule and set out a daily list, which actually has improved my productivity a ton.
Right.
And it's something as simple as, wow, I didn't realize I was made aware that having a list and checking it off is so important. Drink water, whatever it is. Call this person, done. It's just making yourself aware of what needs to be done and giving you the cues to do it. What is the cue? Having the paper. What's the craving? Crossing it off. What's the response? Doing it. What's the reward? Man, I accomplished all that shit today, right? So what happens then is we want to implement our habits and stack them, right? I will do X after X. I will drink water after having my meal. Awesome. Maybe you drink soda, and you want to identify as someone who's a water drinker. Okay. Make each. Oh, this is another one. You guys will leave it. Craving. Make it very attractive, and the things that you don't want to do, guess what you got to do?
Make 'em ugly.
Exactly. Make them highly unattractive. Okay. Make them so unattractive you can't even think about doing them or craving it. When you put something you want to do with something you like to do, you can say, after I do blank, what you want to do, I'll do blank. I'm sorry, what you need to do. So let me say that again. You can say, after I do what you need to do, I'll do blank, what you want to do. Does that make sense? After I have my water, you lay down for a bit, because you're someone who identifies as being tired. Whatever it is, someone who identifies as a coffee drinker, someone who identifies as wanting to lose weight. After I have my salad, I will have a piece of chocolate. Oh, perfect. That is probably a better solution to having the chocolate, and then after that, having another chocolate. See that? It's something so simple. Okay? Next thing is, reduce friction. Okay? People think that they will gravitate to the right solutions, when in reality we will go where it requires the least energy. You must make things easier to use less energy. So that is your response. Okay? Environmental design, prime your environment. If you're around people that are contributing to the things that you don't identify as, get out of that circle. If you're in a bad relationship, I tell people all the time, I have no problem saying it, get out of that relationship. What is it doing to you if it's harming you, right? If it's causing you to more stress, how is that relationship going to change? You can't change somebody else. You can only change the situation that you're dealing with. Does that make sense? It's not selfish. It's actually self-care. It's actually affirming, self-love. I know that going home at night when my family's there, they have a ton of pizza, I can't be there. Don't be there. Go to the movies. Okay?
Get some popcorn.
Cue, craving, response. I go to the movie theaters, I get popcorn. I feel good. Oh, I'm so nice. Immediate reward. Yeah, I know, Zay, I'm sorry. When the sensory feeling of something is good, people will be more likely to do it. Hand soap that is more bubbly and smells better statistically gets used more. We need the reward now to really lock in habits. Okay? Really lock in what it is that you want immediately now to make that habit come to fruition. And with that, if you have any questions, I hope you guys learned something. I'm going to send all of this stuff to you. I'm even going to send this so that you can actually just read it over and you can look at it on the weekend, or you can take it with you. I hope